Uno, dos, tres, cuatro. I'm live. Pinch me. Well, hey guys. I don't know if there's anybody here. Kind of a short notice thing. I tried to go on yesterday and had some stuff come up, and here I am. I'm gonna talk about Squatch Camp. Um, as I've stated many times before, that's my primary research interaction area. And when they closed it down in 2018, I was pretty distraught about it. Never got a real straight answer out of them why they closed it. But nevertheless, it's open. I got the call Saturday from my buddy, and I was up there Sunday morning. Had fully planned on staying up there through Wednesday, but in my hasted excitement to get up there, slipped the mind. I had a doctor's appointment today at the VA that I had to make. So I left the mountain yesterday and took the long way home and stopped by Crazy Town and picked some wild blackberries and came home. So it was a short trip, but it was a good trip. And I should be back up there, not this coming weekend, but the following weekend after that, knock on wood. And I'm going to be up there through Labor Day. Just excited, to be back up there. And, I didn't get any more videos made up there, as far as talking about the interaction that I had. But, yeah, it was not a letdown, especially being my first night back up there since September of 2018. And I don't know if you guys saw the video with the coyote in it. That's how the night started for me. Had that little pup come bouncing into camp, and he just cute as could be for a coyote, I guess. But anyway, it once it finally got, well, let me back up. I had stated in the video, I think the one I was making with the coyote, that or somewhere in that time frame, I had heard a female wah. I'm going to clarify on this. I'll explain the area first. It's about a 3.5-4 mile long road, and where I'm at is about a third of the way in on that. There are a couple of areas to camp at to the north of Squatch Camp, but the closest one is well over a half mile away. Then going to the north, there is nowhere else to camp, and well, not for a ways, at least a mile. So when I'm there, there's no campers around me. At best a half mile away from me. But after I'd made the video where I'd talked about having that female wah in it, like 3 minutes after I shut the video off, I heard 2 gunshots, really close, coming from about the same area where I heard that female scream. And so that somebody shooting a little close to my camp, a little close for comfort. So I ended up, I whistled real loud, and then I started walking up the road, to let them know I don't mind if you're shooting, just please, use muzzle discipline and keep that barrel downrange away from my camp. So as I'm walking up the road, apparently I guess they heard me whistle, and they must not have known I was there. And so I could see where they parked, but they had passed me, and it was about 200 yards past where I was at, 250 maybe tops. And there was a little target set up, so I guess he had pulled over and they're going to do some target shooting. But there was a female with him, and so that's what I'm taking that scream, that yell I heard was her, and not my forest friends that I thought it was. So if something turns out to be what it's not, I'm going to speak up, because I have enough actions going on that I don't need to make anything up. Or if I misidentify something or misconstrue something, I'm going to say something about it. Like the video I made early last year, Stump Squatch or Sasquatch, where for 15-20 minutes I'm sitting there talking to what I thought was a Bigfoot and a forest person, and there's a light sprinkle going on, but that had nothing to do with it. And then I realized that it was just a burnt tree back behind some other trees, and because of the way light was, and a branch coming up off the ground made it look like two legs. You can watch the video, but I laughed with myself about that. Here I am. At that time I'd already had 5 daytime sightings, and I won't even begin to count how many nighttime sightings I had because it's just too numerous. But that something like that, pulled the wool over my eyes. And, because after about 15 minutes of talking to them, they realized that, hey, you're not moving. That's out of character, and that's not right. And so I started looking closer, and lo and behold, it wasn't what I thought it was. Well, that's the same thing with this scream I heard up there. It wasn't the forest people. It was a city person. So, I'm making a correction, from that video that, that's what it was. But moving forward, about the time it started getting dark, dark, because there was no moon out, like being on the bottom of a coal mine once it got completely dark. But when it started to get dark, I started getting a couple of light zaps, and then hearing what I refer to as a fingernail picking at the bark on a tree, coming from a tree right behind me. And so I asked, is that you behind me? And the light zap, it turned into a stronger zap. But here, let me describe just for a moment. I know some new people are probably wondering what a zap is, and for the most part, we all are wondering what it is. It is not, and I say again, it is not infrasound. I've talked about that on previous videos. I know what it's not, but I don't know what it is. What I believe it is somehow telepathically they make like a neurological connection with you. And that's just my own personal belief because of, the experiences that I'm having. But with this, they can make it real light and what we call a little hello zap or a little hello tingles, like just a little charge, all the way up to full paralysis, pinned in my chair, can't move, hard time breathing. And that's what I call a power zap. And, just so much in between that. But sometimes it's like a little electrical charge going across the forehead. If My buddy Chuck, he refers to it as a TENS unit. If you've ever been used a TENS unit for an injury, you'll have a little bit of an idea what we're talking about. It's real similar to that. But when the zaps, get stronger and they become full body or just in the chest, what I liken it to is having a TENS unit powered up as high as it'll go and having a massive adrenaline dump at the same time. I mean, it's real similar to that. It's different, but that's the best way I can describe it. But so anyway, I'd had the light zap and heard that picking behind me, and I asked him, "Are you there behind me?" And of course, the zap got stronger. So that let me know that there was one right behind me. And when I say right behind me, probably about 20 feet behind me in some trees. Then I could hear distinct footsteps to my 3 o'clock, which is east, because I always sit, well, when I'm there by myself, I'm always sitting pointing due north. But at my 3 o'clock position to the east, I heard the distinct footsteps, and got a clack. And so I started talking to that one and got a pretty good zap, and then a zap, and then a zap, and then a zap. It was 4 times like that. And I asked, "Is that you, Indy?" And I mean, I got nailed. Indy is the alpha male in this family group that's at Squatch Camp. I call him Indy because it's easier than pronouncing the name that I got through MindSpeak, through telepathy, which is Yedengon. So it's just easier to say Indy. So that let me know that he was there. And shortly after that, I heard footsteps off to about 10 o'clock, which was over by the front end of my truck. I could hear footsteps back to about my 7 o'clock, and then again back at my 5 o'clock. So they were just walking around. It was pretty cool. The little twinkle lights, like a little bright LED that pops on and pops off. Some people call it, I don't know what else to call it other than a twinkle light, because that's what it is. I had a red one, probably 10 feet in front of me at about my 1 o'clock. And about the time that red one popped, I could farther back at that same position at the 1 o'clock, I saw a black mass, probably about 8-9 foot tall, from where I'm guessing it was at. But it went from my left to my right, which went basically from my north to east. Covered quite a bit of a distance. I got a pretty good look at him and was talking to him. So this is how the first night went. From it's probably about 10 after 7 when I got the first zap, and so this went on for a little over an hour and a half. One thing that happens when I get those power zaps is it like sucks all the energy out of me. Doesn't do it immediate, but it's usually like 20-30 minutes later, and it's just like all I can do to keep my eyes open. So about a quarter after 9, I called it a night and went to bed. And give me a second here. Damn, that's good. this hasn't happened for a little while, but at what time was that? At 12:40 in the morning, I got zapped while I was asleep, because that's what woke me up. But I couldn't move, I couldn't move my arms, couldn't move my legs, I couldn't talk. On the audio recorder, all you can hear is but I was trying to get words out. And I remember when I was first able to start moving, I hit the head of my tent. Why I did that, I don't know, but I smacked the head of the tent and couldn't hear anything. And I laid there for, I don't know, probably 5 minutes wide awake, looking to see if I could hear footsteps outside or clicks or pops, and just got absolutely nothing. So typically when that happens, I can hear them right outside my tent. Oh, excuse me. I hear them right outside my tent. I hear clicks and pops, and I'll generally start talking to them. But I didn't hear anything after this one, so I don't know what to make of that. I've had somebody say you get sleep paralysis. No, this isn't sleep paralysis. This is entirely different, because I'm completely awake and aware of everything that's going on while I can't move. It's a little disconcerting, when you don't have control over yourself. But nothing nefarious has ever come from it. So, it's, take it as you will. It doesn't bother me, except for when it's first happening, when it's happening, and, waking up and not being able to move, for, God, it's probably 2-3 minutes, that I was laying there, my eyes are open, and I'm trying to look out the window, because I had the window unzipped, and that might be why I smacked the head of the tent. I just don't know. But with my PTSD issues, when I'm woke up in a manner that is not of my own doing, I seem to get pretty bothered by it. So that might have been, what was going on there. Did I see somebody looking in the window? No, not that I consciously can remember. But I do remember hitting the head of my tent, which, I hit right here, and the window was literally right there. So it's almost that screen mesh that I hit. And, I don't know. But so anyway, I'm back home, apparently, and I am dying. I mean, dying. I want to be back up there, to get back up to Squatch Camp, because Squatch Camp is a very, very special place for me. And, so I'm looking at, not this weekend, the following weekend, the last weekend of August, all the way through Labor Day, being up there at Squatch Camp. So I should be getting more videos made. As far as the area, and I may do some bigger tours of Squatch Camp. Give you a look of the land. That there is no campsites around me, and that I am completely in the wilderness, folks. Let's see. Am I talking to myself, or is there anybody there? It looks like 4 people are there. But I don't know. My YouTube has been acting so screwy. Goodness gracious. You know, I told you in the video that I had 6 videos um, removed, and YouTube said it was not them. So unless, you know, somebody hacked my system just to remove those 4 videos, you know, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with it. And for about a week and a half, I couldn't even get in to my studio or into my comments or anything. I mean, I could pull up and watch a video, but I could not, you know, I could not get into anything. So, you know, I don't know what that was about. The videos I just downloaded, um, any other given time, that would have been about, you know, I'd say 40 minutes to download all those onto my YouTube channel. And yesterday it took 5 hours. 5 hours. I don't know why, but that's what it did. I'm just playing around here, folks. Give me a minute. All right. Let's see. Oh, I did yesterday morning. You know, I went out for a walk. Did just under 2 miles. Uh, it was that's another thing I love about the Squatch Camp area is I can get out there and I can walk all day long and not have to go up and down mountains. And you know, with all my injuries and everything, that is just too much to ask for. DT, have you ever heard whistles out in the camps? Absolutely. Um, uh, that was one of the first things that I heard um, when my son and I were out. You know, back when this all started, we got a wood knock after we found some footprints, and I did a wood knock, got knocked back. So he did a wood knock, got knocked, double knocked back, and so I did a whistle, and from across this little drainage we were in, I got whistled back at, and you know, it was a different tone. And so, you know, and this is when this all first started, and I was just like, ah. But yeah, in August of 2017, and you know, this um, after the incident I had that caused me to get the audio recorder, which was a female going, yeah, 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 yeah. She was about 20, 30 feet away from my tent when she did that at 4 o'clock in the morning. You know, massive lung capacity. She's like, well, good morning. But my next trip out, I had the audio recorder because of that incident, and I was blown away. I didn't get these whistles recorded because it wasn't that far away from me, and it was I I was laying there in my bed or in my cot. I got up to use the bathroom in the middle of the night, and I heard just like that, and I was like, "Oh, cool!" And I said hello or something to that effect, and didn't hear anything else. And then I ended up falling back asleep. The damnedest thing, it wasn't on my audio recorder, but my audio recorder was 30 feet away from my tent pointing the other direction. So it's kind of not a big surprise I didn't get it. But I've got all kinds of whistling on audio recording. So, you know, yeah, I hear them whistle quite a bit. I've had them respond back when I whistle. I've had them respond back with a whistle 3 different times now. Once my wife got to experience that, and that was a crazy town. You know, so so she got a big kick out of that. Type of communication. Well, of course it is. You know, we use whistles to communicate. You know, what does that communicate? Yeah, they absolutely use whistles to communicate. They use clicks. They use pops. Um, you know, what everybody refers to as rock clacks. I'm telling you, it's not rock clacks. You know, unless you physically see them with two rocks in their hand clacking them, don't call them a rock clack. I know it sounds just like a rock clack, um, but it's not. And here's why I say this: the area where I'm at, up at Squatch Camp, and even over at Hilltop 91 and a couple other places that I've been to, excluding Rose Creek, but these other places do not have the type of stone conducive of hitting together and making a clack sound. It's more of a sedimentary sandstone, you know. So you hit it together, it just crumbles, you know, and there, you know, there's no clack that comes out of that. Um, my research partner Chuck and I, um, are pretty confident that those clacks, clicks, pops, they're doing with their mouth, with their tongue, you know, somehow. But we think it's more of an audible sound, you know, like, you know, something to that effect. They just have the ability to do it a lot louder. Um, you know, on that note, the same thing with, you know, people, you know, everybody knows what a tree knock is. Do you know it's not a tree knock? Here's, you know, out of it, you know, not just me, you know, going, I wonder if, but, you know, they're not walking around the forests or wherever they're at carrying a stick. Now, I've had them, um, you know, I've done a wood knock, um, you know, back when I first started, and immediately got a response. And then immediately after that, got a secondary response from a second location. So, you know, use a little common sense here, folks. Um, Go walk around the forest, and then all of a sudden, out of the blue, go, I got to do a tree knock, reach down, grab a stick, and do a knock. See how quick you can find a piece of wood that's going to be sturdy enough to make the kind of sound that they're making. You know, when it sounds like a Louisville slugger hitting the side of a tree, you know, it takes, you know, most of the wood that's laying on the ground is close to rot as it is, you know. So it you know, it takes a few minutes to find the right piece of wood, and then the right tree to hit to get the sound that you want. You know, especially in my area, you know, you hit the side of a ponderosa pine tree, you know, and the bark is that thick. All you get is a thud. Um, you know, so you know, if you got a tree that's got thin bark, you know, hardwood, you know, then you're going to get that real good knock sound, that you hear, you know, on these recordings, or maybe you've heard in person. Um, I want you to, okay, this is my hand, and I stand 5'11". Now, you take the hand of somebody who's 8 foot tall, 9 foot tall, 10 feet tall, 11 foot tall. That's a big hand. And the power that they have, there's your tree knock. Immediate, instant response. Um, no, I've never seen them clap their hands, but I get so much response when I'm out there and, you know, do a hand clap. Um, you know, you just got to put logic to this, people. And, you know, the, with, you know, I don't know what my hours are at now. I'm probably getting close to, well, I'm probably, well, I am over 6,000 hours out in the field now. It's got to be over 6,000 hours. So, you know, just in the last 3 years. So I'm putting the time on the ground. But anyway, that's enough of the babbling. Wasn't planning on staying on here too awfully long. Just wanted to talk about this last trip and you know, the interactions that I had, and just thrilled, as I said in the video, happy, to be able to get back up there. So I should be back up there a week and a half from now. So anything else pops up, you know, I might go live. I'll try and get a little more notice out, but you know, for now, that's about all I got, folks. So thanks for tuning in, and as always, much love. Peace out.